Welcome to On The Ball. My name is Gabriel and this is another episode of Talking Points. It's a special episode as we have got Thomas Banza with us here today. Thomas, how's it going?
What's up?
It's good to have you back again. And today we're having a chat about Chelsea. Thomas is a Chelsea fan, so this is right in his wheelhouse. And we're going to discuss quite a few things that have happened, from transfers to the players who are coming in, players who might be leaving, players who he wants to be coming in.
We need a drum roll.
And
we need a drum roll for this. There we go.
I hope that was good enough. Chelsea. I hope that worked out. And let's start off big, or let's start off strong. We're going to start off with Callum Hudson-Odoi. 19 years old. Breaking lockdown regulations and doing it in a big way because he was accused of rape, and that's not nothing. That's something big. What are your thoughts on that?
Immature. Damn, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm disappointed. I looked up to this guy, even though I'm older. I looked up to this guy, and big disappointment to the club. Bad image for the club. He's not the first to have broken the isolation rules. We have Mason Mount as well, but Mason Mount, the way he broke the rules was on a lighter note, if I can say it. So, yeah, still a big disappointment for Callum.
Now, obviously, we're not going to get into the did he do it, did he not do it, etc. But he returned to training. I believe it was on the Tuesday when Chelsea were training. He was training already. He was arrested on Sunday morning, 4 a.m. Do you think that is the right move from Chelsea, or do you think they should have investigated a little bit more as to what was happening, what the situation was, before they just openly said, you know what, everything's fine, come train?
I mean, Chelsea's a football club. I don't think they should be dealing in police matters. What Callum did is a police matter in the case that he broke isolation and potentially raped a girl. So we don't know for sure. What I think Chelsea could have done is maybe step in with a fine for breaking the isolation rules, because he is putting the other players at risk from what he did. So in that sense, I think Chelsea should have fined him. Maybe they have. We don't know all the details. But yeah, I think they should leave the whole investigation to the police, the whole matter to the police, and they should focus on the football matters, which is what I think. Him returning to training after breaking the rules, he should be fined for that. Maybe even miss a couple of games. I don't know what approach Chelsea can do. From the previous experiences or previous, I wouldn't say similar occurrences. They've always fined the players for anything or for any misconduct. So I'm pretty sure they will follow suit with that.
Well, I must say that I hope that they're just false allegations. Rape is a serious thing. It's an extremely serious thing, and we don't want anything like that to ever happen. And I'm one of those that if it is something that's true, then obviously he should be condemned. He must go to jail, etc. But I really hope it's not the case. And like you say, look, I think it's a bit premature that they just allow him to return to training, because if something were to come out where it's a police investigation and they're like, oh no, hey, it's true, then it's going to look like from Chelsea's side that they're supporting someone, or they're not bothered by somebody who would do something like that, if that makes any sense.
But like we said, though, we don't really know what's happened, and I think when that is known, then I think Chelsea will step in that case, because for all we know, it's an allegation of rape, but we don't know. We don't know. I think if we can get the answers to that, then I would support Chelsea completely in their. I mean, not even just Chelsea, but if it's really rape, then Hudson-Odoi goes to prison. Rightly so, because I mean, you can't be raping girls. it's not right.
It's not right.
Oh,
But like you say, I think that's, you know what, I think that wraps that up. Nothing really more we can say to that. But again, we'll see in some time. Like you said,
Let's
it's a
just
police
wait.
investigation, and we will see what happens. So I believe it was in January. Was it January or was it sometime earlier in 2019 or in late 2019 where Chelsea had announced the signing of Hakim Ziyech from Ajax? Am I right
Wasn't
in
it
saying?
2020?
So
It was after the January transfer window.
Okay, somewhere there. So I am right.
Oh, okay.
in
No,
saying
no.
Around January.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
They began the discussions like way before, and then they announced the official signing.
Yeah.
I
Now,
think it was February or January. Yeah.
are you happy with that signing? Is that somebody that you see who's going to fit into the Chelsea squad?
I mean, before the whole Hakim Ziyech thing began, there were always rumors going around about who Chelsea could potentially have, and personally, I was not for that move to have him there. I was more for Jadon Sancho to come to Chelsea, but I mean, we have Willian that needs to leave. We have Pedro that needs to leave. So I'm really happy to welcome Hakim Ziyech into the team. I feel like he will have a good impact. My only problem I have with him is that he looks a bit weak. He needs to bulk up for the Premier League because he's going to struggle against some of the defenders. Unless his trickery is really good, then it's good for him, but he's going to need to bulk up, just like how Hazard had to do.
Do you think there was any basis to the Jadon Sancho rumors that he actually might have gone to Chelsea, to London?
What do you mean during?
Like there's well, you know what I'm saying, was there any base, but he hasn't even left Dortmund to go to another club. Do you think that Chelsea would be able to sign Jadon Sancho? Could they afford him? Could they afford his wages? Is Chelsea a destination that Sancho sees himself going to, or would he be more likely to go to Man United, play with some of his friends like Marcus Rashford, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, some of those England teammates. Of course, there are some England teammates in Chelsea as well. I believe Mason Mount might be playing for England if he continues in the way that he's going. I do believe that Tammy Abraham and him are friends. Ross Barkley might be friends with him as well. Which is the more likely destination you'd say is for Jadon Sancho?
I mean, if I was him, you've got United, you've got Chelsea knocking at your door. It's a tough decision to make, but the basis for most Chelsea fans and a lot of people on Twitter for Sancho joining Chelsea was the fact that growing up he was a Chelsea fan. He's spoken on several occasions where he said that he's been a big fan of Frank Lampard, who's currently the manager at Chelsea right now. So this whole discussion is based on the fact that why don't you just come home? He grew up in London. He was really good friends with, I think, Tammy. They grew up in the same neighborhood. They used to play together as kids. So there's this whole appeal that would make sense for him to come to Chelsea. But again, you've got a United squad with the likes of Marcus Rashford, and I'm not going to praise Lingard, but he's another English player that seems to have a good connection with Sancho. So,
Jesse Lingard.
I mean, there's also that for him. So, yeah, personally, I think him going to United would be a good move, but him coming to Chelsea as well would be a good move. There's definitely room for him there. I mean, we've got Pulisic on the left. We can definitely put Sancho on the right, Ziyech through the middle with Jorginho and Kante. So there's definitely room for him, and he will get Champions League football. Like United, he'll go to Europa. So, I mean, come to Chelsea, Sancho. If you hear this, come to Chelsea.
All right, I suppose that is something that we are going to have to wait and see. What about any other ideal signings, or let's say what is currently your ideal Chelsea squad? Who would you have starting? What formation would you play?
And this, you mean this with like what, any signings or what
This
the
is
current players we have?
with the current players that you have, and then a Chelsea squad with some signings. Who would you be happy to have signed?
Damn. So it's current Chelsea squad, I think definitely Tammy up front with Pulisic on the left, and man, yeah, I would say Hudson-Odoi on the right. But now with what has happened, I kind of lost my faith in him. But we'll wait and see. So Pulisic left, Tammy up front with Hudson-Odoi on the right, and Pulisic and Odoi can easily switch positions during the game. In the midfield, I would have Kante, of course, with Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. In defense, Emerson left back for sure. I'm not
You
a big
rate
fan
him
of
above
Alonso.
Marcos Alonso? Okay.
With highly. But it depends on the formation, because Alonso is really good if we play 3 at the back. But if we're playing 4 at the back, then I would definitely put Emerson in. But my formation is a 4-3-3, so then I'd go for Emerson. Defense, Zuma and Christensen. Rudiger is a good defender, but he has a hot head sometimes, and it seems like he gets lost into the game and he loses focus. So preferably for me, Zuma, Christensen, and on the right, Aspilicueta. For now, I see Reece James taking over in a couple of months or a year.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my team for now.
But most importantly, who would your goalkeeper be? Because I do see that Willy Caballero signed a new 1-year deal at Chelsea. So he's there to stay. So who would you rather have? Would you have Kepa? Would you have Caballero?
I would still have Kepa. I mean, Willy is good, but the age is catching up to him. And the games where he was put in instead of Kepa, he had a few bad games.
I personally, I think that Kepa is super overrated. I think there was some crazy stat that I saw that he let in about 80% of the shots he took on target in the Premier League or something like that before Lampard dropped him. That's disgusting.
Rightly so. Kepa has been slightly overrated, but the way Chelsea are playing at the moment is the reason why he has conceded so much. Let me reason with you. Let me tell you why. So firstly, the way we're defending with quite a deep line. So this allows the team to push up to the box where they're able to take shots. Now, Kepa is a short goalkeeper compared to all the other goalkeepers in the league. And I mean, if you're a short guy, you can't easily dive to the left or the right to stop the shots. And I saw stats where they compared his games at Bilbao. He was from you played for Bilbao, right?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
he came from Bilbao, yeah. And when he's at his best when he's rushing out to stop or to make a save, not when he's standing on the line. And if you look at all the previous Chelsea goalkeepers, we had Peter Cech, Asmir Begovic, Thibaut Courtois. Those guys were like 1.9 meters tall, and they could easily stop any shots from on the line because they were tall enough to reach in those tight positions. So I think it's just in the way that we play, and if he's not able to fit into that, then I feel like he should just move on from Chelsea, and I'll be willing to welcome a new goalkeeper, Onana from Ajax. That's who I want.
But Caballero and Kepa are the same size. They're the same height.
Let's get rid of Willy as well. No, I'm kidding. But I like Willy because he's good with penalties. So if we ever have like a cup game where he needs to come in for penalties, then I'm all up for that.
Okay, so Kepa. Well, we were basically talking about your team, so you'd have Kepa in goal.
Yeah.
Now, what about your ideal team with, let's talk realistic signings? Who would you like to have? Where would you have them in the team? What formation would you play, etc.?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm reading current rumors about Chelsea players. Well, not Chelsea players, but potential signings. And I think up front, we're good with Tammy, but we need a top class striker that Tammy can learn from. And
Although you do have Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, but I see him is losing out a bit on pace because of the way we play. Lampard wants to have a striker that can run and that can put pressure on the defensive line. Actually, talking about Giroud, I see that he's signed a new contract as well, or they're planning on him having signed a new contract.
I'm surprised because he hardly plays. So, but okay.
But if that's happening, that means that we're not bringing in a new striker,
Yeah,
which is kind of disappointing because we've been linked with Timo Werner, Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Who else?
I see Timo Werner going to Liverpool before any other club, though.
Big mistake for him.
I agree. Because I don't care who you are in world football, you're not replacing that front three right now.
Right. He's going to be benching, and I don't think he wants to be a bench player. And if I was him, I would choose either Arsenal, Chelsea, maybe even City, because Aguero is coming to the end of his peak, and he'll probably be getting benched from now on. And Gabriel Jesus, I mean, he's good, but he's not good enough.
I don't think he's good enough
for that City.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough.
I mean, there's also space at him at United, so potentially he could go there. Liverpool now.
I was kind of put off by Werner because I don't know how true it is, but there've been so many reports of him saying that he knows that Man United's interested, but he'd like to see something from Liverpool first before he goes or before he makes a decision. And if he were to do something like that, then I wouldn't want something like that. It would be another Di Maria situation. And that Di Maria situation was just a mess. Di Maria is one of the players that I detest the most in world football right now.
That's me and Luis Suarez. I cannot handle Suarez.
But yeah, so we're talking your team that signings.
So yeah, definitely, if we can bring in Sancho, that would be great. But I wouldn't call that a realistic transfer just yet. So I'll be happy with Ziyech coming in. Obviously, he's already a Chelsea player. Coutinho, I mean, he's a good player. Will he have an impact at Chelsea? Probably.
I think that would be a massive signing, a very good signing.
It's just like, I mean, we could be using that money to invest in Sancho, or I don't know, in a different position, because we already have so many good midfield players.
Look,
unless Coutinho moves onto the wing.
The thing is with Coutinho and with Chelsea, I'd been thinking about. I would have, if Coutinho were to be signed in midfield, you're benching Mason Mount. There's no question about that. Mason Mount is young,
of course,
and obviously he can still grow into the role of becoming the next attacking midfield option. Coutinho would probably be at Liverpool. Coutinho, he wouldn't be a long-term option. He'd be at Liverpool for 3 or 4 years. Mason Mount learns from him. Eventually, Mason Mount starts starting more games than Coutinho, and Coutinho moves on to another club. That's how I see it. But Coutinho's fantastic. I'm picturing having Pulisic on the left, Coutinho on the middle, Ziyech on the right, with Jorginho and Kante behind them. That's a dangerous midfield. And we've seen that Coutinho is made for the Premier League. He struggled at Barcelona, he struggled at Bayern. Maybe it's the leagues, maybe it's the clubs, we don't know. But we know that in the Premier League, with some good midfielders around him as well, it's a scary
Coutinho has proven himself in the Premier League, so that's why him coming to Chelsea is a good move for the team. But it makes you think, like, why not invest that money in another player? But that other player would be Sancho for me. Is it realistic? Is it not? Yeah, I mean, I would welcome Coutinho with open arms, definitely. Willian and Pedro needs to leave. Pedro is definitely leaving from what I see. Willian is still trying to negotiate contracts. I don't know what he thinks of himself, but he needs to go. I'm tired of him. He's done. I mean, Willian he's good, but it just could be better, man. Like when you look at the stats over the past 10 years, not even 10 years, but over the years that he's played for Chelsea, the number of goals and assists he's done, it's good enough for one season. Out of all the season he's been at Chelsea, it's good enough for only one season. And I don't know why all the managers rate him highly to always have him playing in the team and having not replaced him earlier. So I don't know, but he needs to go. And we need to bring in a new defender as well, because Rudiger, and he's got his moments. He's like a David Luiz type of player. He's got his moments and other moments where he just makes really stupid decisions, and it's costing us at the back.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I'd have Rudiger starting. He'd be my first starting defender in that Chelsea team.
Nah.
But I do understand the need to bring in another defender. I don't think the defenders are good enough. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what.
And the weird thing is that there are no rumors of any potential new signings. Yeah, in defense. I mean, obviously we would want a top defender like Koulibaly, Skriniar from Inter, but them moving to Chelsea right now, I don't see it happening, and it would cost a hell of a lot of money to bring in those guys.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll see. It's one of those things. We don't know if it's going to happen. We don't know what might happen, but we'll see. And we also need to know when the transfer window is even going to open. Of course, you can sign players outside of transfer windows, but this whole thing is just making everything so unsure. And I guess it's all down to Project Restart to let us know what's going to happen, what the future holds.
Yeah. Shouldn't the transfer market be opening up in July, right? Or end of June?
It should be July. For beginning of July.
Yeah. So,
but
there's a lot of unanswered questions still with the whole coronavirus happening.
A dangerous thing, and I suppose we'll see how everything goes down.
Yeah.
But one thing's for certain is I do hope that Chelsea continue to fail in their aspirations, and
only because you're behind us on the table. You guys are risking not qualifying for Champions League.
No, we'll see how that goes. Like isn't it terrible to think that despite how much worse, not even that much worse, but how much worse Man United are doing than Chelsea, yet we won every game this season we've played against you.
That's the fascinating thing. You guys have beaten us, but you're still doing worse. Actually, every team besides Liverpool and City is playing horribly in the Premier League at the moment.
I agree. And Leicester as well. Leicester have been good by the standard that was expected of them, rather, I should say.
We can give that to them.
And
if they had a better
Sheffield
squad,
United.
Yes, Sheffield, of course. Yeah.
They're doing fantastic. But yes, I do understand what you're saying. Most of the other teams, Tottenham, Arsenal, much to my delight, Arsenal, doing absolutely horrible. And
by the way,
continue.
Aubameyang must leave that team if he wants to win something. And that team that he should go to is Chelsea. Every Arsenal player that has moved from Arsenal to Chelsea have won a trophy. So he must come. He come to Chelsea.
It's true. But I do believe that Lampard is going to be more focused on the youngsters. He's not going to play Tammy and Aubameyang together, and I know he likes Tammy.
But the thing is, he needs to bring in a striker that Tammy can learn from, and Aubameyang would be the perfect. I mean, Aubameyang is like what, 30, 31? He's got like 1 or 2 years left. We sign him for 1 or 2 seasons. Tammy gets that experience from him, and then Tammy takes over from there. So I think it would be a brilliant signing for Chelsea. I'd like to see
Aubameyang at Man United. I mean, the last you're talking winning trophies. The last striker that moved from Arsenal to Man United basically gave them the title.
Yeah,
top goal scorer. So I'd also love to see that. I think it would be interesting to see a front three of Martial, Rashford, and Aubameyang.
Too much speed.
Pogba and Bruno Fernandes feeding them would just be devastating.
Yeah.
But
anyway, he should definitely leave if he wants to win something. he's got to leave that team.
Oh, 100%. I guess we'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
But Thomas, I think that is our time for this video. I want to thank you again for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. We should do this again.
Of course, we'll do this again. If you, once again, don't know, Thomas is a Chelsea fan. He is in Hungary, so we are following social distancing protocols. Not exactly by choice, because we are basically halfway around the world from each other. But that goes to show that if we can do this, you can do this too. You don't need to have somebody right next to you in order to have a chat about football. And I'm going to link some of his social media accounts down below. Go check him out. Does have some pretty good content on Twitter, except when it comes to Chelsea. But if you're a fan, then I suppose you like that. We'll let that one go. But anyway, give him a follow. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. And of course,
I'll appreciate it.
Check out some of the other videos that we have on the channel, on the Balls channel, like Who Would You Choose, where we pick two players who are respected or held to high esteem in their positions, and we compare them, a retired player and a current player, to see who would you have in your cheese. Also a link below to that video. Once again, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next video is released. Thomas, thank you again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Talk to you soon, man. See you.
Cheers.